Okay guys, been trying to make a video all night, really haven't been satisfied with any of the ones I've made. I'm gonna do a little quick, I wouldn't really call it a tutorial, but information about slipstreaming. Slipstreaming basically is allowing air to pass between the drip tip and your mouth. For example, when you normally take a drag, you're gonna fully wrap your lips around the drip tip, and all you're gonna get is what's coming through the bore. Gotta forgive the messages, guys. It's gonna happen a lot. But there's a way to get more vapor. It might sound a little weird, or a better vape experience, especially if you have a really hot setup, even with, you know, some chunky ass air holes, if you slipstream. Now, it's called Bernoulli's principle. And the best way to explain it is if you ever tried to blow up a plastic bag, if you put your mouth on it and blow, it's going to fill very slowly. But if you bring yourself away from it and blow into it at a little bit of a distance, say 6-7 inches, it creates a whirlwind effect that pushes more air in. As air is going in the bag. Now think about it in reverse. Slipstreaming does the same thing. You're getting more airflow into your mouth, and it also helps the vapor, how do I say this, explode? I guess, you know, it expands in your mouth. I'm going to juice this up real quick, and I'll show you the difference between slipstreaming and not slipstreaming. And we're going to go a little bit extreme with it. And here we go. A little juice. By the way, this is some menthol, so if I hack up a little bit, it's just because it's a tangerine popsies. Thanks a lot, Sample Box, for sending me this shit. Oh God, tears my lungs up. Here's just straight drip tip, no slipstreaming. You get a decent amount of vapor. Now here's slipstreaming. There will be a slight amount of space between lips and mouth. Observe. There's a little bit more vapor there. I'll do this again so it's not so close. That's just an observance of how you kind of do it. See, the flavor's a touch lighter, but at the same time, it's a little bit more intense. Now, with, you know, wider drip tips, you know, instead of the narrower, I mean, this is a wider bore. It's got a step, but it's the same principle. You're just trying to get air in between. Much more, as you can see, and these are about the same type of drags. Now, what I mean by extreme is if you have something like an Omega, that, you know, it does get a little warm up here, but if you can stand it, I mean, it's worth the vape. It's a really nice vape. And also, you want to talk wide bore? Fuck the bore. 510 drip tip, well, you know, fuck yeah. So we're gonna do this real quick and probably bust a lung in that moment. Now I gotta re-drip this because this is ready for another drip. As you can see, it's kind of white. Can't really hold this in the mouth because it's hot. Yeah. Set that right there for a second. It's on my knee. See it? It's on my knee. But we'll give it a couple drippy drops here. Actually, more than a couple. Because also, I have noticed that removing the drip tip from the equation, even though it does get nice and hot, eliminates a lot of spit back, which is kind of weird because it's kind of counterintuitive. You would think that the drip tip protects you from spit back, but somehow it seems to eliminate a lot of the spit back. I mean, honestly, guys, putting this in my mouth looks a little weird, so this is not something you do in public. Maybe something you could, you know, maybe at a vape shop where people know what you're doing, you know, so it doesn't look like you're puffing on a big old pecker. But this is actually kind of an enjoyable vape. Try it with your device. I mean, albeit if your device gets really hot, this has kind of a heat sink on top. But if your device gets really hot, I wouldn't advise it. But I mean, this is a .20 ohm build, and I'm able to do this, so you tell me. And this build and this juice usually will choke me up, but I mean, slipstreaming it really eases out the vape. I smoked menthol cigarettes for years, and it's actually quite enjoyable this way. So it's something you can try. You can do it with a regular drip tip. I mean, you don't have to buy a super carb drip tip for this kind of thing. I mean, as you can see, the vapor production speaks for itself. The vape is a little different. This is taking the concept to its fullest, I would say. Unless you had like one of those JB Steamworks, or, you know, I haven't set this up in a while, but, you know, the keg cap without the tip might be interesting. If that's interesting, I'll let you guys know, but really this is slipstreaming at the max here. It's kind of making my nose drip a little bit, so forgive me if I... And we're a little dry again. But yeah, guys, that's slipstreaming, and feel free to play around with it. If you find any other techniques that work out real well, let me know. If you don't believe in slipstreaming, that's up to you. That's your belief. It's something that I've been doing lately with a normal drip tip. Not a big deal. It's something that people don't notice you're doing, so, you know, it might give you an edge in a cloud competition that, you know, even if you guys have the same setup, you could produce more vapor. So that's something for us cloud chasers that we'd really like. This is kind of dragging on a little bit longer, so I'll shoot you out with some vapor, and y'all will have a good day or night. You guys take it easy, and as always, vape safe. Unlock the locking ring.